They thought you'd break. They thought you'd fall to your knees, desperate for answers, begging for a conversation. They expected tears, drama, a scene. They waited, thinking they had power, that you needed closure, that you'd come crawling back just to make sense of the pain. But instead, you gave them silence, no message, no confrontation, no goodbye, just absence. A sudden, unexpected stillness that said more than any words ever could. They set the stage for chaos. They dimmed the lights, built their story, and waited for you to play the role of the broken one, the one who'd lash out, the one who couldn't let go. But they underestimated you. They thought they knew your limits. They didn't know you had already reached them. They were ready for a breakdown, but you had already planned your exit. Quiet, clean, complete. They were expecting a fight. You gave them nothing. And that, my friend, is what rattled them most. Because silence. Silence doesn't give them control. It doesn't feed their ego. It doesn't give them the drama they rehearsed. It gives them nothing to hold on to, nothing to twist. And now they're left staring at a door you closed without a sound, wondering how they lost you and why they never saw it coming. You didn't walk away because you didn't care. You walked away because you finally did. Care enough about yourself to stop explaining your worth. They thought your silence meant weakness, but it was the loudest move you ever made. No arguments, no pleading, just a clean break. You gave them nothing to fight against, no closure, no reaction. Just the weight of their own actions echoing in an empty space where your voice used to be. And now, that silence haunts them. They scroll through old conversations, hoping for something, anything, that might show you still care. But nothing comes, just the sound of your absence. You see, they were never ready for a version of you that doesn't respond, doesn't explain, doesn't come back. And that version, the one who walked out with dignity, became the one they can't forget. At first, they told themselves you'd return, that you just needed space, that the silence was temporary. But days passed, then weeks, and still nothing. That's when it hit them. You were gone, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, completely. And you weren't coming back. Now they replay every moment, every word. Every time they pushed too far, said too little, cared too late. They realized you were never the one who needed them. They needed you, your patience, your presence, your love that didn't ask for much, just respect. But that respect, they never gave it. And now it's too late. The moment they thought you'd chase them was the moment you chose yourself. And that truth, it doesn't just sting, it haunts. While they sit in confusion, you've found peace. No more games, no more wondering, just calm. And they can feel it, the shift in the air. You're no longer waiting for an apology, no longer hoping they'll understand. You've made your peace with the past, and that peace is louder than any revenge. They thought you'd be lost without them, but now they're the ones feeling the emptiness. They scroll, search, reach for distractions, but nothing fills the silence you left behind. It echoes in every room they walk through, in every face that isn't yours. They didn't just lose someone who loved them. They lost someone who stayed quiet, even while breaking. Someone who had every reason to scream and still chose silence. And that silence, it's the loudest lesson they've ever heard. They waited for your desperation, but all they got was your disappearance. And now, the only thing louder than your silence is their regret. They thought they had time, that you'd always circle back, but you didn't. You left without anger, without noise, just calm, steady freedom. And now they're trapped in the story they tried to control, haunted by the ending they never saw coming, because you didn't leave to prove a point. You left because you were done trying to matter to someone who only noticed your worth in your absence. And that's the kind of loss they'll feel forever.